Know the game, know the game, know the game. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can join the notification game and never miss an upload. What's up, players? It's IDOLWILD here. Today I'm going to show you guys how I like to beat the nickel 335 odd crossfire blitz. I'm going to explain why it goes through, how I block it, and how I can move the ball against it. It's not that easy because the blitz comes in randomly. You can get a random block share, you can get a random disengage, and if your offensive line double teams anybody, then you're really in some deep trouble. So what I like to do is, most people run this blitz. I'm going to show you how most people set up the blitz. They'll come on the 335 odd, and this is the blitz right here, and then they'll flip it so that outside linebacker who's on the line of scrimmage is on the left side. So how I block it is I want to make sure that my running back is on the same side of that linebacker. So if your opponent runs it to the other side, then you can block it that way. But the outside linebacker is on the left side, so my running back is on the left side. So I'm just gonna set up the blitz. I'm gonna run the blitz, and I'm gonna show you guys. I run it a couple times, show you guys why it comes through so often, and it's an inconsistent, consistent blitz. It comes in consistently, but the way it comes in is inconsistent. I can't even speak right now. But the way it is that it comes through, but the way it comes through is not like always the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and run it through. I'm blocking 6 right now, and the middle linebacker came through, and it was like 3 people came through the middle. So let's go ahead and take a look at that in the instant replay real quick. But you see, I'm blocking 6, they're rushing 6, but somehow we still got insane pressure up the middle. So here's what happened. What happened is, not only did the running back not block anybody, but my right guard had to try to block this DB that came in he literally came right through his face, but he didn't touch him. And that's the problem. Sometimes offensive linemen will get in the way of one of the blitzers and they won't do anything besides like a little shoulder shrug. In real life, this DB would be destroyed by that offensive lineman. But in reality, since he didn't block him, now that leaves the running back in a 2-on-1 matchup. He has to block one of these two, and he can't block both of them. And then, so the middle linebacker when the loop came through, and then like my center got destroyed just by this defensive tackle. So now you got the natural pass rush coming through. So I mean, pretty much all hell broke loose on the offensive line. So let's go ahead and run it a couple more times, because the blitz normally doesn't come through the same way back to back twice. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it'll come in one way because of one reason, and it'll come in another reason. But the main takeaway is, if your offensive line double teams anybody, you're in trouble, and you can get a random disengage, or it can be like multiple blitzes coming through one gap. It literally won't. That's why what makes this blitz so crazy and hard to block is because it's not the same thing every single time. So this time he got pressure on us, but we were able to pick it up. So you see here, we ran it 2 times. One time it came in super crazy, and the other time it doesn't come in pretty much at all. Like, he got pressure, he got hands on the quarterback, but he wasn't even able to get a sack. So we're gonna run it 2 more times just to show you guys like the type of pressure. I'm pretty sure that you already know what this blitz is all about, because if you played any kind of online head-to-head, especially weekend league, you've come across this blitz. So there we go. Now we got pressure from the right. So same blitz setup, same blocking setup, and we got pressure from the right. Gonna run it 1 more time just to see maybe we can get some pressure from the left side. It's not like I'm choosing where it comes from. It's the same blocking setup, same blitzing setup. It's come through twice in 2 different ways. One through the middle, like some crazy middle pressure, and then one through the right side by a quick DB blitz. So we set it up here, and we got pressure again from the right side. So I'm going to show you guys like why it came through on the right side. I'm pretty sure it's because of a double team. So we look in, let's see, look at the right side, and yeah, they essentially double teamed that left, where are you going? That right end, which leaves this DB free to come to the outside. And once again, the running back is in a 2-on-1 situation, and we get cracked. If this left end gets double teamed, then this outside linebacker is going to come free, but they picked him up like they're supposed to. So I'm going to show you guys how I like to block this blitz. So I want to have my running back on the same side as that linebacker. You see here, Miller is on the same side as Delvin Kennard, or whatever his name is. So I'm going to set up the blitz, and what I want to do is I'm going to pinch my offensive line, and then I'm going to ID that looping blitzer. So that's how I'm going to pick it up. Now, once again, this blitz is pretty good. So it is not going to shut it down 100% of the time, but it's going to definitely increase your effectiveness in blocking it. I'm going to say it's going to jump from like a 50-50 chance to like an 80-20 chance. So we're going to run a couple times just to confirm that. So you see here, I'm blocked my running back. I'm going to hold L1 or LB and then pull the right stick down to pinch. And then I'm going to hold L1 again and then press hold X or A if you're on Xbox and ID that looping blitzer. So that's how I'm going to set it up. That's how my blitz set up. I'm pinched and then I ID that looping blitzer. So you're going to snap the ball and we still got pressure from the right side. That's part of that 20%. We're going to run it a couple more times just so you guys know. Jesus, I'm freaking burping mid-sentence and crap like that. I'm so nervous, so anxious for this video to work. I want to show you guys that I can block it. But once again, so we ran it one time, we got screamed at one time. So we're going to go through it 5 full times just to, you know, do like kind of like a BS emulation of running 100 reps. So we go ahead to the blocking setup and we were able to pick it up. We got screamed at the end, but nobody came through free or crazy like that. So I'm going to call that 1 out of 2. You guys let me know, was that an L or was that a W right there? Would you guys have enough time to pass the ball into that situation? Now obviously the second way or that we're going to beat this blitz outside of blocking it is you want to throw high. You want to throw quick passes right into the area where the blitzes are coming from. I'm going to go through a couple setups of that with y'all. So you see here, I've pinched, I've go ahead and blocked everybody. Nobody's coming through. Obviously we eventually got pressure because there's 6 people blitzing, but that's what, 1 for 2, or was that 2 for 1? How many? We've done it 3 times. I'm gonna say we blocked it twice. What do you guys think? You guys think I took an L on that second one? Let me know in the comment section on how we did on that blitz. I've also made another video on how to beat the blitz, and I'm gonna go through a couple of those ways in here, but I also made another video on just how to beat blitzes in general. So we have the same setup, pinch my offensive line, ID that looping linebacker. Once again, everybody got picked up. We eventually got a block check, but that's just part of natural pass rush. So what is that, 3 for 1? We're gonna run it one more time. Let me get the play set up again. I just want to make sure you guys like see this in action on how effective it is on picking it up. Once again, like I said, it's not going to pick it up every single time. You don't want to rely on it. You don't want to rely on anything to work 100% of the time every single time. Even though it's the same blitz setup and the same pass blocking setup, it still is not consistent as you would expect. That's the crazy part about this, is that I know what's coming and I'm able to make the right adjustments and it's not going to block it every time. So I'm going to call that 4 out of 5 times we picked it up. That's 80% in my mind. So that's how I pick it up. Run it back on the same side as the linebacker, whether he's on the left or the right. Pinch your offensive line and then ID that looping blitzer. So another way to beat this blitz is by using wide receiver screens. I don't like the, the wide receiver screens from the outside because it takes too long for their route to develop and they come inside of the formation too much and sometimes they run backwards. I prefer to use bubble screens or like the PA slot screen, like right here. I prefer to use bubble screens because they're easier to set up and you're able to get to the outside of defense if you are able to get those blocks on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the blitz. Now, any of these methods that I'm going to show you guys on how to move the ball down the field, you don't want to abuse them because your opponent can, if he recognizes what you're doing, he can go and obviously mess it up. But anybody who's smart is going to be able to come and mess anything you do up. But in general, since there's nobody on the outside here, you can go and hit that bubble screen and now you got a platoon, or it should be a platoon of blockers that you can use to get down the field. The next thing I like to do is halfback screens. Out here on offense, we are in a halfback slip screen, and this is effective as well because now your opponent is going to be like, if you hit the screen to the outside to the receiver, and obviously if you mix it up, the more you mix it up, the better off you are. But if your opponent has to worry about a screen to the right and a screen to the left, and you mix it up with other play calls, he's not going to be able to correctly predict what you're doing next. So since you have so many blockers coming out, they're going to come home quick. So you have to be ready to throw this ball. You don't want to have to worry about making any of the reads. You got 6 people screaming at you. But once you get that ball out, there's nobody over there because all the blitzes are towards the middle of the field. We didn't get nipped in the bud right there. We could have scored a touchdown. But that's one of my favorite ways to do it. Wide receiver screens and halfback screens. Now I'm going to show you guys what I mean by throwing into the blitz. Let me get the blitz set up real quick. By essentially what I mean by throwing into the blitz is you have to identify where the blitz is coming from. And since the blitzers are leaving their area vacant, so in this blitz, the blitz is coming from the left and the right coincidentally. Most of the time, the blitz will come from one side of the defense, but this one comes from both sides. So the blitzers are this linebacker and this outside linebacker. They're coming from the left side of the field. So essentially what they're doing is they're leaving their zones to come and rush the passer. Since they're leaving their zones, it's a vacant area over there, so nobody's over there to protect the pass. Now your user is responsible for either one side of the field. He's either got the middle, he's got the right or the left. You only have 2 zone defenders most of the time to help defend the middle. So you have to find out where the blitz is coming from and attack that area. So since the blitzers are coming from this left side, we're gonna throw right into where the blitzers are coming from. So I'm not even gonna set up the blitz really that effective, but a simple way you can do that is by using like a little slant. So you see here the blitz is coming through. You just throw a slant because there's nobody there to stop the pass. There's nobody over there. You can run an out route, you can run a drag, you can run like a post and like distract the user, but that's my favorite. You just throw into where the blitz is coming from. Same from the other side. So we got, I mean, you can something as simple as this, like the same play on both sides of the field can really mess this blitz up, especially if they're sending 6. Now, if they're not sending 6, then they're going to have more people to drop into coverage, but then you're going to have more time in the pocket. So obviously it's going to be a cat and mouse with any kind of scheme that your opponent runs. You're going to have to worry about them mixing it up every single time you run into any blitz, but they got that nickel over their blitzing. You just throw a slant. Simple as that. The last thing I'm going to show you guys is not as effective, and you don't want to do this too much, but using the QB run can mess up their whole little defense in general. So what I mean by QB runs is, if you're my opinion, this is to me the most effective into getting somebody to stop using this blitz, but it's also the riskiest. So what I mean by QB runs is you pick up the blitz, and if you have a mobile QB, you run through one of the gaps in like the blitz pickup, and you run like to gain some yards. What that's going to do is that's going to force your opponent to put somebody in a spy, and normally it's going to be one of these blitzers. So they're going to take one of the blitzers and put them on a QB spy. The reason why I say it's risky is because obviously the blitz setup that I told you guys doesn't work 100% of the time. So you could run straight into a blitzer. Let's see if I can pick it up here. You pick it up, and now I would probably run to the left, but we didn't even pick it up right there. So that's why it's risky, because you have to not only worry about picking up the blitz, but you also have to worry about running through the right gap, just in case, like, you don't want to run into where somebody's going to disengage. But if you're able to run in this formation or run against this formation with your quarterback, that's going to force your opponent to QB spy. I should have ran up straight through the middle, but you guys get the concept that I'm saying. It's hard to do, and I don't recommend you trying to do it every single play, but if you can do it once, that's going to mess them up pretty much for the rest of the game, in my opinion. I've done it a couple of times where I've picked up the blitz, and then I've ran through one of the gaps in the middle of the defense, and I was able to, like, the opponent didn't run it again because he was so afraid of Michael Vick running straight down the middle, because he has to cover. There's 5 guys in coverage, so he has to go cover. Now he can't worry about covering and stopping my quarterback from running. So you pick up the blitz, and now I run straight through the middle. Now you do that one time, he shouldn't, a smart player wouldn't do that, because then you would just pick it up and run again. But that's in general how I like to blitz it. I mean, stop that blitz. You block it by having your running back on the same side as the linebacker, pinching your O-line, and go ahead and ID in the looper. Use wide receiver screens, preferably bubble screens, running back screens or halfback screens, throw into the blitz, and use QB runs if you can to get them out of the blitz. If you guys learned anything, you're able to use this in weekend league, head to head, or even able to figure out how to get more sacks because you know how the opponent wants to beat you, go ahead and leave a like on that video so you guys can help me out, help this video and this channel grow. And I appreciate you guys showing up. I'll see you guys around next time. I'm out.